It's a matter of opinion when it comes to who led this country the best. But when hardcore facts are brought to the surface, Franklin Roosevelt was hands down the best political leader we could have had. And if it wasn't for him, this country would have never got out of the Great Depression, and this country wouldn't have half of the administrations it has to this day. Before his presidency, unemployment was up to 27%. By March 1933, when he took office, nearly half of the nation's bank had completely failed. The United States Treasury did not have enough money on hand to pay federal workers. The stock market was a mess and had been since the crash of 1929. Nobody was investing in anything by the time FDR took office in 1933. All the stock market crashes were due to Hoover's presidency. He completely got this country into a complete economic failure. And if it wasn't for somebody like Roosevelt, who's to say it still wouldn't be an economic failure? And who's to say we would have even won World War II? Outside the U.S., war was already brewing and would soon kick off. Before the bombing of Pearl Harbor, the United States was trying to remain neutral. And then after that, Roosevelt took the bull by the horns and done what he had to do to win. And really, that's what got the country out of the Depression. While the war wouldn't really begin until 1939, tensions in Europe and the Pacific were already high. Since the First World War, the U.S. had vacillated between isolationism and being the world's policeman. FDR would support staunch and isolationism until Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941. Okay, and after he took office, he immediately took action. He created what was the first of many bank holidays, where all banks were shut down. He then started proposing regulations and programs that were meant to do two things: create jobs and regulate the financial system. Civilian conservation corps aimed at giving jobs to young men. These jobs were focused on conservation and development for natural resources. Public Works Administration was stated to create jobs for the government projects. Works Progress Administration was the big one. It employed millions to work on public projects like roads and bridges. The Emergency Banking Relief Act and Glass-Steagall Act both aimed at creating stability in the banking systems. Glass-Steagall created the FDIC. The Securities and Exchange Commission was created to oversee the stock market and create regulation to keep it from crashing once more. The Social Security Administration created the first true long-term entitlement aimed at helping senior citizens. All of these were parts of the New Deal, which was something he created within his first few months of presidency. And FDR was the first of any president to be reelected on four different terms. All of my facts were from historycollection.com. And to conclude my speech, I will just say that FDR was like, if we had more leaders like FDR that took the country's citizens into consideration, we'd have a much better country. And if we had people that talked to the citizens like he did, like in his fireside chats, it would just be a much better place.